Sorry. All right, I'm going to redo that. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the video. My name is Justin. I just watched Season 2, Episode 2 of The Mandalorian at 3 a.m., and so I surprisingly have a lot of energy for this right now. But I also have to keep it quiet because I do have people that I live with. But again, disclaimer, spoilers for Season 2, Episode 2 of The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian in general. So I just got done with the episode. My initial thoughts is it's okay. It's an okay episode. Essentially, what happens is Din Mando is tasked with, he gets back from, first of all, yeah, Carbon. I agree. So Carbon's saying that he was disappointed, like it was a blah episode, and I'm inclined to agree. I think the start, like the very beginning, was good. I think that it was kind of funny that he got like snare trapped when he was on the speeder, but besides that, the episode really just, it's one that doesn't push the story any further. It's kind of like a filler episode. Carbon's over here saying that it feels like a filler episode, and I agree with him. It was 40 minutes, and honestly, it just kind of yeah. I mean, I'll never say it's a waste of an episode because the art in these episodes is always so beautiful. The creatures that they bring to life are so beautiful, but I mean, in terms of the story, it's probably like one of the worst of The Mandalorian, and it really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't push the story forward, and especially with everything that we have going on with this season, with bringing characters back and with the stories and the themes that we've gathered. I don't think that you can, if you're Dave Filoni or John Favreau, that you can take these kind of episodes and waste them. I mean, you really don't have enough time unless you're not going to give these characters that you're bringing back the time and effort to explain their stories in the live, because a lot of people don't watch the animated shows. So you're going to bring characters like Sabine and Ahsoka and Rex. You're going to bring these characters back and people aren't going to know who they are. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So let me read some of the comments here. Part of me was thinking the child was going to use the Force again, but missed opportunity. If they were going to waste an episode, this better be it. Star Wars is known to waste an episode of two. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought the baby was going to just eat all of the eggs, but I also thought that whatever that frog woman was, I thought she was gonna like end up dying, and Mando was still gonna like carry out her last wish of returning the eggs. But so let me give a quick breakdown of the episode before I continue to look at the comments. Again, I appreciate you guys being here, Carbon and Gonzalez. I really appreciate your comments. If you guys would just hang in with me for a few minutes just so I can explain the episode and everything. I'll get to your comments and everything. So, but yeah, so essentially, Mando is coming back from what had happened in episode 1, gets snare trapped, essentially, fights off some goons that tried to take the baby. They knew about the child, which was interesting. The best part of the episode probably came from the very beginning, which is very sad, very bad. But he traded the jetpack for the baby's life, and this little whatever that dude. It wasn't a Jawa. Yeah, it wasn't like a Jawa or anything. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't a Jawa. But the little Jawa was like running off, and he hits a few buttons on his wrist. And the whatever the creature was just goes sailing in the sky and absolutely just comes down, falls, and splats on the ground. But it was probably the highlight of the episode, which is saying something because that was the very beginning. So unfortunately, after that point, he comes back to where his ship is, and he ends up finding out more information about where Mandalorians were. And to be honest with you, it's a little sketchy. This episode is full of just like not sketchy, but inconsistent. Like just here's this thing that's gonna get the story to continue to go forward with him talking to an ant. Essentially, I don't know what that creature was, but he literally got information from an ant on where more Mandalorians could be. And so he's tasked with taking this frog creature and its eggs to a planet where they can, fertilize them and continue the line of whatever species they are. And so, the one exception is they're not allowed to enter hyperspace. So they have to travel at sublight, which means that it's going to take forever. And it's going to mean that pirates and what else could come at you out in space are going to have that, shot at taking Mando and trying to take the baby, because obviously he's still wanted by Moff Gideon and all that. So they're flying around and they end up in Republic space, and two X-Wings eventually, communicate with him that like, hey, we need you to activate your transponder. And essentially at some point they engage, like they're going to attack him, and Mando just dips down into the nearest planet to try to lose them. While he's trying to lose them, he's like banging up the ship. And I said it in the live reaction. The Razor Crest has got to be the most banged up ship in all of Star Wars. If anyone thinks of a different ship, because I know you could argue the Millennium Falcon, but like, dude, this dude had to legit repair the entirety of this ship. He had to put his entire ship back together in season 1. And again, this ship just gets banged up while he's trying to avoid and lose the X-Wings. And, he ends up losing them for some time. So, but the Razor Crest, it's all banged up. It falls into another pit in this frozen ice planet. And so he essentially wasn't going to fix it right away. But the frog alien that he's transporting, essentially, they can't communicate because he doesn't know what language it's speaking. It fixes the robot that he killed in the one episode where they were, he like reunited with his old gang, essentially, or he worked like a job for, it was the episode where they were doing like a prison break. I forget all the characters' names from that episode. I'll have to refresh myself, but she uses it to communicate with Mando that like, hey, like you need to carry out your contract. That's what Mandalorians do. You need to carry out this contract in order for me to ensure that my lineage continues on. We need to make it to where my husband is, where he's carved out a living for us. And so he starts trying to repair the ship. Baby Yoda notices footprints. It's the frog lady's footprints going into the caverns. They follow the footprints, find the woman's in a hot springs with all of her eggs. Oh, also, side note, Baby Yoda, the entire episode, is just trying to eat this woman's eggs, which is gross when you think about it, and also disgusting when you think about it. And so I think it ends up eating like 3. I think it gets 3 or 4 eggs. I think it tops out at 4. But anyways, I'm surprised the frog woman doesn't notice it. But they find it in the hot springs, and she's just like, she let out all of her eggs in the hot springs with her, which was a choice. Essentially, I don't think they can get cold. It's a reptile, so if the eggs freeze, then I'm pretty sure they die out. But so Baby Yoda caused so much trouble in this episode. It was crazy. So essentially, Mando is trying to like tell her like, all right, I need you to get back to the Razor Crest because I can't protect you out here. So he starts putting the eggs back in the container, and he tells Baby Yoda, "Don't eat them." And Baby Yoda is like, "Well, I'm hungry." So he goes over to the next thing that he thinks is edible, and guess what? There's eggs just littered throughout the entirety of the cavern that they're currently in. And Baby Yoda, being hungry, doesn't give a shit and just starts cracking open one of these eggs and starts eating. You see him just like grab a fistful of spider and just shove it in his mouth like he did the frog in the one episode, and he starts eating the inside. And you can see around him, the eggs all around him are starting to hatch, and he books it out of there. And Mando and the frog lady see all these eggs hatch, and there's little spiders, then there's medium spiders, and then there's a big spider. And they get chased. Mando does some fancy gun work, some blaster work, kills a few of them and everything. Try to use some not mines, well, I guess you could call them mines, bombs, whatever you want to call them, to try to kill the big one. I thought he did. I really thought he did kill the big one in the beginning. And they get back to the Razor Crest, and turns out he didn't kill the big one. By the way, all the little ones are in the ship, trying to web him up and everything. They web up the Razor Crest, which is disgusting. I hate spiders. So another reason not to like this episode, because I hate spiders. But the big one, they try to take off. The big one jumps on top of the ship, penetrates the cockpit, but you see blasters, red blaster bolts start to come in, kill the big spider and kill the rest of the spiders that were outside of the Razor Crest. And it turns out that the X-Wings found him again. The two Republic X-Wings, Republic fighters find him. And essentially, they're just like, "Yo, we ran your tags on the Razor Crest. Turns out you're a fugitive, but also you turned in 3 bounties, and you helped a Republic officer out." And so Mando's like, "If I can you guys help me out? Like, can you guys help repair my ship?" And they're like, "Nah, peace, dude. We helped you out enough. We'll catch you later. Be happy that we're not going to kill you or whatever. Fix that transponder of yours, though. But yeah, peace." And they dip out of there. So Mando ends up repairing the cockpit, and they end up just taking off. And Baby Yoda, they can't go anywhere other than the cockpit. And so Mando goes to sleep, and Baby Yoda looks back at the woman holding the container full of her babies, full of the eggs, and just like tightens up when Baby Yoda looks. And the episode literally ends with Yoda like, he pulls out like an egg. Like, when did he get the egg? But yeah, I mean, it was a 40-minute episode. Really doesn't push the story any further, other than they somehow found another person who knows where Mandalorians are supposedly hidden. So but yeah, that's basically the gist of this episode. So let me look at the comments really quickly. So as far as an animated shows, they're known to, okay, I already read that one. Glad they survived. Keep it up, man. Speak your peace. Thank you. I appreciate that. Half the eggs at the end of the episode. Yeah. So essentially Baby Yoda eats like half of I mean, not really, but like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Joshua, half an episode. He says, "Bruh, half an episode." Yeah, that's kind of my feeling on it right now. That's the main reason why I didn't like this episode too. I hate spiders. Dude, the spiders are the worst. I swear to God. I don't know if any of you have played what is that game called? The new one the Fallen Order. But my goodness, the spiders in that game suck. But Joshua says it's a filler episode. I mean, I'm inclined to agree. That episode it really just doesn't do anything. And honestly, it doesn't, Mando's action is always so great. The Mandalorian episodes always have such good action. And it really just doesn't do anything. It doesn't, push anything further. So if I had to like rate it like 1 out of 10, I'm probably going to be a little bit critical on this one. I'm going to say it's a 5 out of 10. I mean, not a lot of good in this episode, if I'm being honest. The very beginning is the high point, and that's it. So that's kind of speaking a lot on terms of how good this episode was. I don't know if, maybe I should go lower. I don't know. 5 out of 10 is like, I don't think like, I don't usually like to be too critical about things, but a 5 out of 10 is pretty like not great in my opinion. Are those the same spiders as in Star Wars Rebels? I wouldn't. There's spiders throughout all of Star Wars for some reason. There's spider bots and other things, so I wouldn't necessarily know. Tyler Kerr, I instantly knew they were white knobby spiders when Baby Yoda ate the first one. Ooh, Tyler Kerr dropping some knowledge. All right, I appreciate that. I give it a 4.7 out of 10. Yeah, I can't really do the point like system, but I mean, I'm right there with you. It didn't progress any character in this episode. It literally felt like a traffic stop. I'd give it a 4 only because of the intro. Yeah, I mean, like I said, a 5 is pretty bad for me, in my opinion. But I could absolutely go lower. I think the beginning of the episode is the highlight of the entire episode, and for 40 minutes, that's saying a lot. So I'm sure they'll bounce back next episode. I agree. They'll definitely. You can chalk like one episode to a like a live series of Star Wars up. I mean, obviously, Mando the first of its kind, but everything from the prior season gives me hope that they'll bounce back. I have faith that they'll bounce back and have a great episode 3. Kind of annoyed that he just fixed his ship and now it's basically totaled. Right, dude, that's my point. This dude consistently bangs up the Razor Crest and has to get it fixed. I swear, every time he goes to a different planet, someone comments on like, yeah, you should probably fix your ship. And it's like, oh, really? No shit, I should fix my ship. I just bang it up every other episode. Like, hey, I got it repaired in literally the first episode. Guess what? I'm going to go bang it up in the second episode. For what? This man literally just bangs up his ship. He had to, in the first season, the dude literally had his whole ship taken apart and had to get it repaired. He had to put it back together. His whole ship. The Razor Crest is the most like it's just the most banged up ship that I can think of in all of Star Wars. It's gone through so much shit for no good reason. Keep up the good work. See you in the next one. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. The one thing I will give it is that it gave Baby Yoda a lot more character and personality development than we've seen in many episodes. I really don't know about that. I mean, listen, I understand that the baby is cute, but like, it just caused the entire like the only reason that episode was 20 minutes longer than what it should have been was because Baby Yoda was being a little shit. Let's be honest. It was hungry. It's consistently hungry. And listen, I'm consistently hungry too. I'm a hungry person. But guess what? I'm not gonna go eat some random thing I find on the floor of a place I don't know because I'm hungry. It's not like he was starving. Mando literally fed it like right before they took a nap. But it's a baby. I can't get like too mad at it. Basically ran from the cops and almost died. Yeah, that's you just summed up the entire episode in a few words. Next Friday, I'm sure. Yep. I was waiting the whole episode for Baby Yoda to use the Force, but no. I also thought, well, it did. I mean, it pulled the eggs closer to him when he was like staring at them and everything. I know it's not like really anything, but I was expecting him to like yeet a a spider or two. I was expecting him to just like while Mando's like carrying him, he just like he eats a spider or something. When one of the spiders jumped on its head though, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. It was kind of funny. Um with a show, it needs a villain and it needs surprise to survive or cameos. See, I don't agree with the cameos. I agree that it needs a villain, and um, you know, with Moth, he's interesting. He was super interesting in his time and everything, but they haven't enforced it. They haven't enforced him in the first two episodes, so we'll see. The Mandalorian survives on the action, and I think surprisingly the comedy of it too. But I think the action of it, also the lore of Star Wars alone, gets people to get invested into it. Like Tyler Kerr knew the alien spiders. I mean, you can tell that he's a serious fan and a dedicated fan, and people like him and me. I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable as certain people when it comes to that kind of stuff, but in all honesty, these episodes will always bring people back because of the lore and because of the action. And it looks beautiful. It looks like a movie. It looks so high quality. So, why couldn't they drop first 3 episodes at once, like The Boys? The Boys is also a fantastic series. The first 3 episodes, yeah, I would agree with you. Mainly because the first episode of The Mandalorian was so good that, if they drop this second one, which is not good, and they drop the third one that, it's like, it's really good and it has a nice cliffhanger, then I think you're right. I think that would kind of pique people's interest in it and allow for, for them to have some good substance for season 2 already. But, it is what it is. So, you can't wait until the new episode. There must be a new bad guy. Hawks, for me, honestly, I'm still waiting on Sabine and Ahsoka. I think they're probably. I mean, it's just I'm already so pumped for the next episode because I'm sorry. I think my throat's like just really dry right now. But I'm really pumped because I just, I think it'll be a bounce back episode, which will be awesome. But I hope they introduce Sabine. And I think if they introduce Sabine, then you'll get more of the Moff Gideon story because of the Darksaber and what he's doing with it. How did Sabine lose it and all that? So hopefully not a new monster fight each episode. Yeah, I agree. As much as the crate dragon thing was cool, this one honestly just didn't hit the same. And so, yeah, I agree. Hopefully they fight some real people. My biggest problem with the Razor Crest is that it's such a it looks like a cargo ship. I understand that it does have some combat availability, but I wish I don't know. I wish that it could get into some more space battles and such. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Squadrons, so maybe that's why, but oh well. Honestly, I think what's going to happen next episode, he'll have his first villain and someone is going to have to help him repair his ship again. But next episode needs to be a big one, otherwise meh. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Honestly, it was not great, but I do have faith in Filoni and Favreau that they'll be able to bounce back with a stellar episode. So, but I think that's going to be it, everyone. Went 25 minutes for this, so I really do appreciate all you being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the likes. If you guys could leave me a subscribe, I'm gonna do this every Friday for the rest of the Mandalorian. And thank you so much. Leave your comments, leave a like. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I do see some more comments. So before I leave, I'm hoping the Razor Crest significantly changes due to the repairs, like slightly new look, more weapons, etc. I just think it needs to be like it's not going to happen because I don't know that they can do that. Essentially, I don't know that it works that way. I would love for it to work that way, but for it to be like a ship that can get into combat, it needs to be like smaller. It's way too big, and I don't think it's super maneuverable. So it would need to be like the Millennium Falcon, where it would need to be operated by like a crew, and it would need to have like a top gun and a bottom gun that can swivel and turn and fire backwards and everything. But it's such like a bounty hunter type ship where he stores contracts in there, but he's essentially no longer a bounty hunter because he's on the run. So, but yeah, again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you all, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. Have a great weekend. And just a reminder, I know that times are crazy right now with everything that's going on. Well, if you live in the US, at least, with everything that's going on, just be safe and be kind to other people. But, besides that, thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.